Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we will look at how we can create a basic task using task scheduler and schedule to run a Python script. We can also tell the scheduler how often we want it to run or give other triggers as well. Some of the other helpful use cases involves setting up particular tasks which are required to be run at specific time every day. For example, it could be file backups, or let's say you have a code which sorts your downloads folder and you want it to be run at specific time of the day. Having the task on task scheduler eliminates the human error as well. Alright, so let's fire up our Windows search and find the task scheduler. So write in task scheduler and it should pop up as a first result. Let's open it up. Okay, so the basic interface of task scheduler is very simple. So we have a file, we have action, and then on the left side we already have some Windows tasks which are already running. On the right side we have actions panel. The most you will use is create task, or you can use import task. Alright, so ideally we should create a new folder to save our custom tasks. So let's create a new folder by right clicking on task scheduler library. So we click on this first and then we right click on it and say new folder. Let's say let's give it a name, custom tasks, only if I can type correctly. Alright, so let's click on it and then create a new task. We can do that by using create task here, and it opens up a new window. In the general section you can give the name of a task and a small description. And then in description you can write some helpful comments which will help you remember what this task exactly does. Alright, you don't need to change this user or group setting. On this section, if you want task to run even if the user is not logged in, you can select the radio button where it says run whether user is logged on or not. If this option is selected, it will ask you for user and password and it will save it within the settings. You can also change this here or as appropriate. Let's move on to the trigger section. Let's click on new tab, and here you can give the details of the triggers. So let's say you want the task to be run once every day at a specific time. You can select daily and then you can give it specific time. So let's say we make it to 12:25, so we can test the task as well. You can also do weekly, monthly, or you can do one time. There are some advanced options available as well. You can use them. Let's click OK. If there is no advanced settings, let's move on to actions tab. Click on new, and the default setting for action is start a program. Let's leave it at that because the other two says deprecated anyway, so let's leave it at start a program. And now it will ask you for a program or script to run, and you can add in arguments or optional arguments as well. The most recommended way of running Python scripts using task scheduler is by creating batch scripts. So let's create a simple batch script along with a Python script as well for our testing purpose. Let's open up Notepad and let's start creating them. So we will first create a simple Python script which will print something and then it will close itself. So let's type in print. This is a test Python code, and then we can save it as py file. But if we save it like this, it will just open up and close within seconds and we won't be able to see any result. So what we will do is we will import time library and we will ask it to pause the code for 5 seconds. Let me add a comment here that 5 is in seconds. So if you want it to pause for 10 seconds, you can just change it to 10. Alright, let's save it here. Control S. So this will be test python code.py. Make sure you use the extension as py in order to save it as a Python file. Let's save it and let's see if it has saved it correctly. Okay, we can see here that it has added the test underscore python code. And you can also see that the symbol has been changed to the python file type symbol. Let's close this and let's create our batch file. So we will open up the notepad again. The way batch files work is you will give it the full path of the program you want the code to run with, and then you will give the actual path of the Python code. So let's trace where our Python exe file is saved and give it the location for this. So you just open up search bar, you click on Python, you type in Python, you right click it, open file location, and since this is a shortcut by itself, you can see it by the small arrow here. You right click it again and then click on open file location. So this is the location for your Python file, exe file. Click on copy as path. You can add these shortcuts on here. It is separated by space, and then you will give the full location of our Python code to run. So the Python code location is here. Let me copy as path and let me paste it here. So we added a space in between and then we pasted the location for our Python code. So it's very simple. Let me make it small here. So it's the location for the Python exe file separated by a space, and then it's the location for the Python code itself. Let's save it as a batch file. So let's say simple batch.bat. Keep in mind that you will have to use extension bat in order for the batch file to work. Let's save it and let's see, check the folder. So you can see that it has created a batch file, and you can also see that it has changed its icon to the batch script. Now let's move back to our task scheduler, and we can now just copy the path for this batch script and we can give it directly here. You can leave these two blank. As you can see, it says optional, so it's not required. Then we have a section for conditions. Here you can select the condition appropriately. Let's say if you don't want the script to run on battery, you can change the setting here. If you're working on a laptop, you can also change few more settings here. I would normally leave these as default, but if you feel the need to change anything, it can be changed. Let's click on OK, and we can see here that the task has been created. This task will now run at each time at 12:25 every day. Since this time has already passed, let me modify this and change the time a bit so we can see the actual code in progress. So change the time to 12:29 p.m. Alright, so we change the time here, so we will shortly see that the code will execute. Alright, so as you have seen that it did run the code, the Python script did come up. It said print whatever we gave it, and then it waited for 5 seconds and then it closed itself. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you like the video, please click like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. I will be creating many such more videos in future, so please stay tuned. Thank you.